My name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV, and I'm sitting down with Baja Kubaski. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Of NSKN Games, there we
Yes,
go.
yes.
I have to say that with clear and crisp distinction.
Thank you, thank you.
And the second game that you brought to show us today is Progress, Evolution of Technology.
Yes, Progress, Evolution of Technology. Now, what is the one thing that is coolest in all Civ games? And
Technology
that is,
trees.
Exactly, and that is in every Civ game.
That is a good, excellent point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we decided that it's probably a good idea to make a game that is the technology tree. So in Progress, Evolution of Technology, we become civilizations, technological civilizations, and it all revolves around the technologies we play. Progress is a card game, so everyone will start with a hand of cards, and everyone will go through 3 ages, actually a little more, but let me leave that for the end. Everyone goes through 3 ages, and after the 3rd age is over, we tally up points, and one person wins. Now, on every turn, like I said, everyone starts with a number of cards, and let me maybe show a very simple card right here.
The wheel.
Exactly, the wheel. This is the first age technology card. It's a very basic card. Now, every card has a couple of elements. It has some awesome art. It has the name.
Have some awesome art.
Thank you. If I may say so myself, some awesome art, yes. Technologies come in 3 types. There is engineering, which we have here. There is science, which we have here. And there is culture, which we have here.
As I am guessing is denoted by the symbol in the top
Exactly.
left.
Also, every card comes with a general knowledge value. When we discard the card to pay for other cards or to pay for effects, this is how much knowledge we get. Also, every card comes with 3 slots. And in these 3 slots, we get different kinds of symbols that do different things. And let me maybe go straight into it, because...
I'll move your deck for a moment.
So, the first basic thing you can do on a turn is to play a card. Now, playing a card usually is very simple. I play the wheel, and this is the price of the wheel. It means I have to pay 3 knowledge. It can be either engineering or general. As cards only have general knowledge, what I would have to do is I would have to discard, let's say, 1, and let's say 2, 3.
Aha.
Hence, the card is played. When it is played, I immediately receive whatever is on the card. So in this case, I have 2 symbols. One of those symbols corresponds to the power board. So we have a power board here, and let's say I'm playing white, I move 1. That's a very simple thing.
It is.
The second symbol corresponds, and these will be quite difficult to pick up. So maybe this is visible.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's all
okay.
visible.
So the second symbol corresponds to one of the 7 skills we have on our player boards, and in this case, I would just move here. So I started about the skills. Let's talk about the skills, because it also talks a little bit about. It's also a little bit about the actions. The first skill. This is simple. This is how many cards we can have at the end of the turn. So if we have more than 5 cards, we have to discard down to 5. The next one is the draw skill. But this is the regular draw. This tells us how many cards I will draw when I do the draw action. However, this draw ends the turn. And in the beginning, we only have 2 actions. But as the game progresses, we will have more available. If I want to use this draw, I will end the turn. So if I start with no cards, I will just draw, and that's it. The next one is a different kind of draw. It's a shuffle and draw. This tells us how many decks we can shuffle and then draw 1 card from them. Because what is quite important, as we pay for different things, we are discarding cards.
Hoping to get them back.
We can get them back quite easily. Every time I draw, I can draw from the discard pile. But maybe I want to deny a technology to one of my opponents. So what do? And I need some cards for myself. So what do? I shuffle and draw. So this technology is now somewhere there, and I will just draw this card. Actually, yeah. So that's shuffle and draw. And there is a quick draw. Quick draw does not end the turn, but it starts with a value of 1. And later on, whenever you draw, you actually have to discard something. Now, going quickly here, we have some, maybe I can move it a little bit like this. This is a kind of a very key skill, as it tells us how many actions a turn we have.
And there's your base of 2.
Exactly. So with some cards have the symbol, like for example, philosophy. When I play philosophy, I immediately move this one up, which gives me 3 actions, although getting 4 and 5 actions is a little more difficult, requires more of those symbols. Finally, we have the 2 skills pertaining to what is called developing a technology. Let's say I have a technology that is very expensive, like Bronzeworks. Now, Bronzeworks requires me to have 2 and 2. That's altogether 4 knowledge, and I don't have enough knowledge. I can always put a card under development. What it does is, this skill tells me how many cards I can have under development at a given time. This skill tells me how many of those black tokens I have to place on the card. The card is not yet part of my tableau, not fully. I do not get the symbols, but the card is already there, and it can be used for discounts. Now let's talk about discounts. It wouldn't be a technology tree, it wouldn't be a game about technologies if it wasn't built in a way that a certain technology gives you access to another technology. And this is exactly what happens here. So let's take a quick look at, well, actually, let's take a quick look at Bronzeworks. Bronzeworks says that to play it, you have to pay 4. But if you have masonry already in your tableau, you only pay 2. And if by any chance you have...
replaces that. Oh, and then agriculture, you'd pay 0.
Exactly. So some of the cards, you will just need an action to play them. And as the game progresses, as we go into later ages, the prices go up. So it becomes crucial to build your tech tree in a very, let's say, mindful way. So, but that's not all. What I forgot to tell you is that a card under development, so it serves this purpose. So if I had, for example, let's say I have masonry under development, it serves as this. At the beginning of every turn, I remove one of those tokens. When I remove the last one, the card comes into my tableau and starts serving as a normal technology. So immediately also gives me those, all of those symbols, which allow me to move up my skills and move up the power board. Now, every time a certain number of symbols, let me quickly find it. Of course, I don't have it here, but definitely it's somewhere here. Yes. So for example here, this is one of the cards that has age 2 symbol. When a certain number of those symbols, and this number is dependent on the number of players, comes up, we immediately come into the second age.
We sort of hit a critical mass amongst the world's knowledge.
So at this point, the age 2 deck comes into play. We don't get rid of the age 1 deck. We have them both to draw from. We have them both to do stuff with them. When the third deck comes in, though, the first deck is eliminated. Okay. So, apart from the first age, at any time of the game, we will always have 2 decks, the less advanced and the more advanced one. So this is what's going to be going on throughout the whole game.
I'm wondering, that tech tree there by your elbow, is this a kind of a cheat sheet here? Actually, just of things that help provide discounts for the future?
Let's say I want to have coal mining. I don't have the card in my hand, but I want to have it in the future. So let's say I will need cast iron and mining to have it for free. If I want to have it cheaper, then let's say I just have cast iron. So it allows us to plan our civilization.
Without having to necessarily know all the cards.
Exactly. This evens the playing field for newer players, which is very important. But let me tell you that I'm a person who played a lot. I played Progress a lot. I really love this game. And I still use this a little bit to find new ways of going around things, because every number of players has a specific number of technologies. And actually we can find this information here as well. So for example, if I'm playing a 3-player game, I know that there will be 2 coal mining cards. So sometimes it's good to know that, okay, this technology is already on the table. Everyone has bought the technology. You'll never see it. Yeah. I will never see it. I want to take a different route. Now, finally, there is one little detail I forgot to mention, the knowledge tokens. Some of the cards, as we put them in our tableau, have this symbol here. This is a knowledge token. This means that I take this token and put it in my tableau. And once a turn, I can use the token to actually pay for something. So if I had, let's say, pottery I wanted to pay, and I had these 3 tokens, which is 1 general knowledge and 2 engineering, I can just flip all of them to pay for the cards. this is kind of important because it means that there are many ways of discounting different technologies, many ways of playing them. You can develop a technology slowly to build upon it. You can create the discounts, you can create actually the technology tree, or you can go a different route, trying to get as many of those tokens as possible to have the technologies you need. Now, when the age 3 ends, also the game ends. And at this point, we look at a couple of things. So firstly, we look at the victory point symbols on the cards, then everything that is...
has a little victory point symbol down here.
Exactly. So here, for example, we would have 2 victory points for this skill, and we look at the power board. And the power board tells us according to position. So for example, the prestige track here, the red player would score 10 points, the white player would score 6 points. That's how it works. Now, these are not all of the components for the game. It plays from 1 to 5 players. And actually, if you play with 1 player, you use the other side of the board here. So it plays 1 to 5 players. The adjustments you have to make, some of the cards have a 2+ symbol, some of them have
adjust the
1+.
deck,
So you just adjust the decks. And apart from that, it plays exactly the same. Now, the last thing I want to mention is that Progress was a pretty big success on Kickstarter. And this allowed us to actually put some more stuff in the box. What you see here is the basic game, but every box, not only the Kickstarter, every box comes with 4th age, which lengthens the game a little bit, and it comes with 2 mini expansions, the milestones and the personalities. If you want to add them, the personalities are a little bit like leaders from other games. The milestones are big events in which players can take part, usually expanding some of the knowledge and marking it with their own player color to get some more points at the end. Basically, this is more or less it. Building technology, like I said, it's a technology tree in a box.
You're speaking my language. That is my favorite part of a Civ game for sure. So
fantastic.
Well, Bauja, thank you so much for stopping by and showing us Progress, Evolution of Technology.
Thank you.